Hello everybody, welcome to Candid Scale Modeling Asked and Answered, where I take comments from viewers and subscribers and answer them. Today's question is regarding the light that I use in some of the videos. Well, rather than blab on for 20 minutes and just talk and keep you around until I get to the answer, let's get right to it. That light is a UV light that you use with a UV resin. Now, if you haven't heard of UV resin, or you've heard of it but you're not sure what it is, UV resin is just a one-part resin that cures under a UV light, or even put it outside. It just takes longer outside. So why would I use such a thing? Well, I have not had good luck with CA glues. For some reason, I am CA challenged, I guess, if you will. Either they dry too fast, they dry too slow. So rather than never do photo etched and never do clear parts, I was searching for an alternative. And believe it or not, got inspiration while in the dentist chair. Just getting some work done, having a cavity filled, and he kept shining this light in my mouth. And finally, when we were done, I asked him what that was, and it was a UV resin. So shortly after that, I kind of was wondering if there was a consumer version, and lo and behold, there is. You can find this in craft stores, basically with jewelry making stuff. What it's used for normally is for making, knickknacks, jewelry, just little decorative pieces. Basically, you fill a mold, put little objects in it. It just makes a little clear shape or jewelry. I gave it a shot on models, and it worked fantastic for me. These particular items I got on Amazon. They weren't too expensive. There's all kinds of different versions out there. I don't know if one brand is better than another. Kind of all the same. This is the second bottle, completely different vendor, and they all work pretty much the same. So a couple things to know about it. It is a resin, so it does have an odor. So if you're sensitive to odors, you might want to wear a mask or something like that. And you really don't want to get it on your fingers. So you really should wear gloves, especially if it's on your fingers and you accidentally hit it with the light. It's going to cure on your finger, and it can generate some heat. So it can be a little uncomfortable, shall we say? But let's do something with this stuff, okay? All right, so I've taken a little bit of resin, put it in this little tin here. To apply it, I've used toothpicks, I've used old brushes. I've tried cotton swabs, but they get all kind of gummy. So, toothpicks, paintbrushes, probably the best things to do. And here we just have a scrap old bomb from the parts box and a little leftover photo etch part there. So it's real simple. It's just like regular glue. One of the reasons I like it, though, is it gives you time to maneuver the piece. So if it's not quite where you want it, you actually have a little bit of time to get it into place, figure out where you want it, that kind of thing. So I'm going to take our little photo etch part. You can see we got our resin there, and we're just going to lace our part. See, I have time to move it around and do stuff. Now, normally you wouldn't put that much on it. You just have a little bit underneath. I know I said you should be wearing gloves, and I'm not. Bad demonstration, I know. Anyways, hit this for a little bit, and you don't have to have the glue sticking out the end. The light is going to get there, even though it's flush to the plastic. It is kind of amazing how little space light needs to get to where it needs to be. You just hold this on there for a few seconds. It really doesn't take long, and voila, part is now affixed, not going anywhere. So that's for photo etched. And I have also used it for clear parts. You can just take a little bit. This is just a scrap pour derelict plane that I had kicking around. Use it for testing and that kind of thing. And you just stick your part on there. And there you have it. One windshield. That's it. That's what I use the UV light for. That's what I use the UV resin for. And like I said, you really can use it for just about anything. Basically anywhere that I normally would use CA glue, I've used this and I haven't had a problem yet. Also anywhere that you normally would use white glue, I've used this and haven't had a problem yet. It doesn't fog up the clear parts. It doesn't etch the clear parts. You really don't need much, just a real tiny amount, and it gets the job done. A few things to keep in mind, however. It is hard, so if you get too much on there and you harden it, you'll end up with a big clear glob, hardened glob, which sometimes can be a little difficult to get off. So, if you do decide to go this route, just spend a little bit of time practicing to get the thin amounts on there. So what about cleanup? Well, when you're done, unless you have a dedicated resin tin or something like that, as long as it's not hardened and it's still in its liquid form, alcohol, that's it. That's all it takes to clean it up. You just make a little pad. You can sing a little tune while you clean if you want. Makes it interesting. If not, well, don't. And there you go. cleaned up. These are actually hardened pieces left over, so it won't cut through hardened. Once it's hardened, but it will clean up the residue just fine. So I think that's about all I have to say about UV resin. Like I said, it's not that expensive. A bottle, I think it has a shelf life of about a year. So, if you do pick up some yourself, make sure you get a bottle sized right for how much you think you're going to use it. You're probably going to end up with more than you need regardless, because you really don't use a whole lot. Even though I use this quite often, this bottle is much bigger than I need. But, you get what you can get. So yeah, that's it. UV light for UV resin. So there you go. I've taken up enough of your time. Until next time, happy modeling.